speaker. Thank you so much for sticking around with us tonight. As Susan mentioned earlier, we do a lot of research here at the Utah Women in Leadership Project, and we do research on a wide variety of topics. And sometimes people say, what does poverty have to do with leadership? What does substance use disorders have to do with leadership or mental health? And what we explain to people, what I hope all of us here understand, is that we can't even start thinking about how to influence and use our voice in order to make a difference in our families, homes, communities, neighborhoods, unless the basic aspects of our own lives are where they need to be. So we're so thrilled tonight to be talking about real tools for women's mental health. So our speaker tonight is Tiffany Rowe, a licensed clinical mental health counselor, psychology teacher, speaker, Therapy Thoughts podcast host, and owner of Mindful Counseling here in Orem. She passionately helps her clients remember they are enough. Tiffany's focused her career on treatment for women navigating disordered eating, poor body image, poor relationships with themselves and food, anxiety, life transitions, and self-worth. Tiffany personally survived an eating disorder and has been fully recovered for more than 12 years. She works to dismantle diet culture and feels called to work with women and to help them find their true purpose and self-worth. She believes you can love yourself, your mind, your body, and your relationship with food. And so with that, I'll turn the time over to Tiffany. Thank you.
What's up? I'm so excited to talk to you tonight. I'm going to teach you all my best stuff. You ready? This is going to be interactive. You're going to get a few grand worth of free therapy. Ready? I'm going to do a Q&A at the end. Does anyone want to ask questions to me? You want to do that? So we'll do that for like 15 minutes at the end, okay? And I like to put people on the spot, so throughout I'll probably be like asking some questions. Okay? Let's rock and roll. Women's mental health facts. Okay, 1 in 5 women have a mental illness. When I talk about a mental illness, this is diagnosable mental health disorders. Eating disorders, generalized anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, clinical depression, bipolar disorder. 1 in 5 of us. So if there's 100 of us in this room, some of us are struggling. Raise your hand if you've ever had a mental health disorder. Look around, y'all. We gotta banish that stigma, okay? Mental health is not a moral failure, it's not a weakness, and it's not a freaking choice. Let's be very clear about that. This is a struggle, it causes distress, it impairs functioning, it's real, and we're gonna talk about tools that help. We have anxiety and depression at 2 times the rate of men. What is up with that? I got a couple thoughts. Why we have higher rates is one, we're socialized to have higher rates. So, we're using gender norms here. I want to acknowledge that, right? Like gender's not necessarily this binary thing. But we treat it as such in our culture. So men are told to shut up and not have emotions and just be pissed off or happy. And women are socialized to ruminate, to have emotion, to share emotion, to embrace. So we are more likely to report this. Therefore, it may seem like we have double the rate, but I'm going to argue we're all struggling. But we're a lot safer to report our mental health struggles as women, right? 1 in 9 women will have a major depressive episode in any given year. Major depressive episodes are scary because there's a high risk of suicide with major depressive episodes. So you got to watch for this. If you're struggling, don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm suicidal. Don't be afraid to ask if someone's suicidal. Myth, talking about suicide causes suicide. So I had a client today in my office, the most suicidal person I've ever met. And I was scared. But I looked at her and I said, how do you want to hurt yourself? You can talk to me about this. How would you do that? No wonder you're so depressed, right? Like, don't be afraid to ask someone what's going on, because 1 in 9 of us are really struggling. Women are twice as likely to experience PTSD. Also really scary stuff. PTSD isn't just going to war. You know what else causes PTSD? Shout it out. Sexual abuse, sexual assault, which only very recently we acknowledged in the DSM as like a valid cause of PTSD. That's absolutely traumatizing. What else? Domestic violence, Divorce, yes, thank you for saying something that is so deeply traumatizing that we can ignore, and it can really cause impact in someone's life. Anyone here struggle with infertility? Miscarriage? Children getting illness? I mean, we gotta open up our eyes. This isn't just trauma due to war, which is absolutely a cause of PTSD. Car accidents, all kinds of stuff. Women, 85 to 95% of people with anorexia and bulimia are women. Yo, that's a lot. You do not hear those kinds of statistics about anything. 95% of something is ridiculous. That's a lot of percentages of people dealing with these specific eating disorders. 65% of people with binge eating disorder are women. Binge eating disorder is the most common eating disorder. And we don't talk about it. 1 in 4 women who diet will go on to develop an eating disorder. This is kind of my thing. I get a little soapboxy here, so pardon me. 1 in 4 people who diet. How many of y'all have been on a diet? 25% of us will get an eating disorder. That's my story. That's a lot. That's a high-risk situation, right? This is what impacts women. We got to watch out for this. And then 1 in 3 women will have experienced violence in their life. We're on a college campus. This is a high-risk population. So I'm going to talk about some real-deal tools tonight. You ready? I like the energy. Okay, a couple themes. I'm just like dangling the tools. I'm going to hit you with some tools, but one more anecdotal thing. I've been a counselor for almost 10 years, and these are the themes I see with women in mental health, and it's blowing my mind. It doesn't matter how old you are, if you have kids, if you don't, if you've been hustling in the workforce, if you're single, if you're married, it doesn't matter. We all feel bad for taking care of ourselves. We feel bad for wanting more. The women I work with who are moms never feel good enough. The women who aren't moms never feel good enough. Single, really struggling in this area. Married, really struggling. Dating, really struggling. And they feel bad for wanting to feel good. We're socialized to default to guilt and self-sacrifice, so we feel bad for self-care. And we're taught our worth is based on approval from others. Anyone battle that self-defeating belief? I need other people's love, acceptance, and approval to be okay. It's a women's issue that I see over and over. The men don't come in my office and say that. And we're bombarded with messages of you just aren't enough. So let's combat that today, y'all. Number 1, self-care. Self-care means this. This is the definition. It is knowing and meeting your needs. That's what self-care is. You can never step in a hair salon or nail salon and do great self-care. Self-care is not synonymous with pampering. Self-care is knowing and meeting your needs. So if you're standing in your kitchen and you're overwhelmed with work or school assignments and you feel like your jaw's starting to clench and your head's racing, self-care says, what do I need right now? Water is self-care. Yesterday, I felt like I was having a panic attack because people were coming to look at my house because I'm selling it and it wasn't clean. So I said, Tiffany Rowe, what do you need? And I needed to go lay my head on my dog's stomach and get grounded. That's self-care. Like I was losing it. I was getting all stressed out and I needed to get grounded and listen to an animal's breath and just get grounded. That's self-care. So here's permission to think about self-care in a new way, to open up your mind and think about, how do I meet my needs? How do I get safe? How do I meet my physical needs? Water, sleep. How do I meet my mental needs? Positive affirmations. How do I meet my emotional needs? I set boundaries. The best boundary in the world is no. Just a no. It's boundary. Spiritual needs. I liked what our last speaker was talking about. Connection, grace, joy, finding something that fills you up. And then your social needs. So again, this isn't synonymous with pampering. It doesn't have to cost you any money. That's a self-care myth, and you can do it right now. I hope you're thinking of a need you can meet, because that's all self-care is. The next real tool is challenge. There's a right way pressure. So there's a right way to do something, messes up a lot of my clients, and it messes up me. So there's a right way to parent. There's a right way to be a perfect student. There's a right way to be like the best employee. What's right is what works for you. So this isn't a moral discussion. This is a cognitive thinking discussion, okay? So when you're pressuring yourself with perfectionism, this is what I'm talking about. Challenging perfectionism and saying, what's right is what works for me. So I want to talk about permission slips, and I want you to write down some permission slips around this. What's something in your life that is pressure-focused, perfectionism-focused, that you are really stuck on doing a right way? For me, it's being a mom. Never cut myself a break there. So I need to write a permission slip that says, there's no right way. Keep him alive today. So what permission slip do you need to write down for yourself to challenge the there's a right way pressure? Here's some ideas. I need permission to make mistakes and to improve. I do all kinds of marketing on Instagram, and part of that is like a constant call-out culture. Like whenever I say something wrong, I hear about it. I have to constantly give myself permission to make mistakes. I have to constantly give myself permission to blow it, to screw up, to say the wrong thing, to look like a butthole in front of like lots of people. And it's okay to improve. Anyone else need that kind of permission? So write that down. You need permission to be imperfect, to set boundaries, to be assertive, to take breaks, permission to relax. Any type A's in the room who struggle bus with relaxation? Permission to succeed and achieve your goals, permission to learn, grow, and permission to be yourself. So if any of these resonate with you, if you got anything else in your mind, write down those permission slips. I'm the kind of girl who has like Post-it notes everywhere reminding me how to act right. So my bathroom mirror has like all of this. Just getting through it, right? So you can write these, you can put them on your phone, you can make them screensavers, but giving yourself permission. Boundaries. It's like every therapist's favorite word. I love boundaries. I'm going to tell you how to set them today. You are allowed to say no and not feel guilty. And a lot of people spend years in therapy trying to get this one down. So if this is hard for you, have some grace and self-compassion. Some boundary ideas I think about, because I think most of us think, oh no, I gotta set boundaries with people and like hurt people's feelings. Boundaries protect you. Boundaries simply define what you're comfortable with and what you're uncomfortable with. So I think of boundaries like playing any sport. There's rules of engagement, and you have to learn the rules to play the game right. So if I have a relationship with any one of you, you need to tell me the rules because I might do something that hurts you. So I want to reframe boundaries out of this like scary, oh no, I'm gonna disappoint people, I'm gonna hurt people's feelings, people won't like me, into boundaries enable relationships. By telling people what works for you and what doesn't work for you, you can have a really cool relationship with them. Boundaries around social media, work, school, turning off your phone, taking breaks, saying yes or saying no. Those are all boundaries. 3 steps, okay? How do I do that? Step 1 to setting a boundary is expressing gratitude. I'm trying to think of an example. I recently got invited on a girls' trip, and 2 of the women in the group are pregnant. And I'm currently going through IVF, and it triggers the hell out of me. So here's the boundary I set. Express gratitude. Thank you for inviting me on this girls' trip. I really appreciate that. Thanks for including me. Number 2, set the boundary. I'm not going to be attending the trip this year. The end. Does that make anyone uncomfortable not explaining why? It makes me uncomfortable, but I really work at this. I will not be attending. Express importance of relationships, step 3. But I sure love you guys. Super stoked to hang out next time. How uncomfortable are you with that? But how empowered are you by that? So think about setting boundaries in your life. How do I set boundaries with people and take care of myself? Women's mental health, we self-sacrifice, we don't take care of ourselves, we feel bad. So here's permission to say your needs matter. Your emotions matter, and if you're not gonna take care of number 1, no one else is. So it's your responsibility to take care of yourself. Self-compassion, I love it so much. This is all the research. I'm gonna break this down very simply. There's 3 pieces of self-compassion: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. This explains all of it if you care. You can take a screenshot. But self-compassion is very simply being cool to yourself. I call that not being a butthole to yourself. Treating yourself with kindness, treating yourself like you would a friend who you love. Kristen Neff is kind of the self-compassion guru, research head honcho. Neff, Kristen with a K. I really love her work. She explains these 3 components, but I'd rather have you experience it. You ready to do some work? Okay. I'm holding this microphone, so I can't well, here we go. Let's problem solve. Thank you. Okay, I want you to use your hands and put them on your cheeks. Just do this in your mind's eye and repeat after me to yourself. Hey, baby girl. Like, I see you. I'm with you. I know what you've been through. I know how hard it's been. Your suffering is real, your trials, your struggles. You matter, your needs matter, and dang, it's been hard. I care. I got your back. Just breathe that in. Now take those hands and put them on the back of your neck. Feel that touch, that self-soothing. I won't abandon you. I care how you feel. I'm here for you. Your values matter. Your beliefs matter. I'm committed to showing up for you. Just breathe that in. And put those hands on your heart. Just feel that beat, connect to your heartbeat. If you can't feel it, that's okay. And give yourself some gratitude. Wow, we've really made it this far. I'm not going to judge your experience. I see it. I honor it. It matters, and it's okay to feel how you feel. Have empathy for you. And end by saying, I love you, baby girl. Breathe that in. That's self-compassion. How's that feel? You know, when babies have failure to thrive, like little brand new humans, you know what we give them to help them live? Skin contact. Skin to skin. It doesn't have to be their birth mother. Skin-to-skin contact, there's something about human touch. We need that. Y'all, when's the last time someone touched you, you know? You got to show up for yourself. Give yourself this kindness and that connection and that compassion. It's 100% okay to accept help. This is the next real deal tool. My first suggestion is reminding you that therapy is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to get therapy. Who gets therapy? I do. I've been in therapy since I was like 16. Who else in this room gets therapy? Therapy is for people who value mental health. That's who gets therapy. I want to acknowledge there's accessibility issues and a lot of barriers. Most of my clients who come to therapy with me say they've been on wait lists with lots of different therapists, lots of different times. Access, insurance is a problem. So we got to vote for mental health. But therapy is cool. We got to get past the stigma, and we have to stop blaming people for mental illness. None of us opt into that or choose that. It's not a choice. Medication is smart. I take anti-anxiety medication. I have been on and off of it for my whole life. Medication is something else that's stigmatized, that it stems from this kind of cultural belief that it's weak to accept help. It's weak to need something outside of ourselves. So I'm here to just remind you, you can be extremely badass and successful and still need help. And I'm very open as a therapist saying, like, I get help. Because hopefully that gives someone permission to also get help. And it's not a personal failure, doesn't mean you're broken. So watch the shame, watch the stigma that you have about getting help. So many of us are chronically under-supported. It's okay to accept support. I swear, I tell every single one of my clients to skip a therapy session and buy a Roomba instead. The Roomba's the little like robot vacuum. Dead ass, my Roomba is like my best friend. I can't, it's part of my mental health plan. Like, I need my robot vacuum. I need that support in my life. How are you under-supported, and what can you do to fill that? Who can you ask? What can you invest in? Being here is giving you support. You're surrounded by women, right? It's okay to need help. And so many of my clients, when I tell them it's okay to buy a robot vacuum, they like cry and their like shoulders drop, like, thank you for the permission. So here's permission. Something else, you don't have to be 100% of the time. In fact, you don't have to be 100% ever. That's another permission slip you can write. Something else about accepting help, stress is normal. So it's good to kind of take care of yourself. Permission to step out of that and to slow down and to challenge this. You have to be hustling and busy to be worthy, kind of a thing. Therapy, I've already kind of talked on this. It's not for weak or crazy people, it's for everyone. So embracing that. And you can benefit from like this unbiased professional ear. It's for everyone. That's who needs therapy, is freaking everyone. And make sure you make appointments for stress management and work-life balance. So accepting help can look like acupuncture, can look like energy work, can look like chiropractics, massage, something like this. Here for massage, yeah. Let's keep cruising. Ooh, this is something I'm so excited about. Validation. Self-validation. If I leave one message with you tonight, I hope this is it. This is something I really care about. This is the best skill I got. It's the golden pill, magic pill. Validation is the cure we all need, okay? I mean this with all of my heart and soul. Your feelings matter. And in order for us to have mental health resilience and optimism and balance, we have to learn to validate our own feelings. Not relying on external validation from other people, but it's got to come from inside. Have any of you like asked someone you care about for reassurance 1,000,000 times and it's never enough? Not that I know anything about this, but my husband, I've harassed him for 10 years to prove if he loves me. Do you love me? Are you really? He's told me every day for 10 years, and I'm like, but I need you to tell me again. Anyone else? It's not just me, right? Seeking that external validation never fills us up, because it means we got these holes in our bucket if we're that desperate for it. So it just kind of seeps through. It's a temporary high when we get external validation. That's why I want you to rely on self-validation. It's okay to seek that. It's okay to ask your partner if they love you. That's fine. I love that. I love that we can ask that. But you getting your own back is where the magic is. So when I want to ask my husband if he loves me, what am I needing? I'm needing to know if I'm lovable, if I'm worthy, if someone could possibly accept me. And so I got to put my hand on my heart and my cheeks and my neck and say, okay, baby girl, I got your back. I love you. At least I'm not going to give up on you, whatever. So that's self-validation. I want you to get this tattooed on your face. It's okay. I don't care what you feel. I feel some really horrible things as someone who deals with infertility. There's been times where I see a pregnant person and I say, I hate that person. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff I do in therapy with people, and they're like, I do feel that. I wish I had permission. And I say, it's okay. Does that make anyone kind of like uncomfortable to think about it's okay to hate? Or like rage and anger, like it's okay. Or pain and depression and sadness, like it's okay. Not that I want us to follow through or be violent or be aggressive or be chronically depressed, but I'm just proposing self-validation says it's okay that you feel that. And by saying that, guess what? It goes away. So this is self-validation. It's okay that I feel this. It doesn't matter what it is. You just say it's okay. Replace but with because. This is the secret to validation. So instead of saying, I shouldn't feel this because my life's so good. I shouldn't feel this way about my parents because they tried their best. I shouldn't be mad at my professor because blah, 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 whatever. I don't know what examples. Instead of saying because and invalidating yourself, I want you to validate yourself by saying, so here's an example. I hate pregnant women, and that's okay because it's been really, really hard not being able to be pregnant. Or it's okay that I'm really mad at my mom or my dad because that trauma's impacted my whole life. So instead of invalidating yourself, I want you to validate and just give yourself permission to feel whatever you feel. Don't downsize, minimize, label yourself as wrong. Don't insult yourself. Don't tell yourself it's bad. We just want to get rid of all of these and instead say it's okay to feel what you feel. Allow space for emotion. Unconditional permission to feel is the key, because by allowing yourself to feel it, it can pass. It's a paradox. Does that make sense? Feelings are like annoying little kids at a pool. They're like, pay attention to me, like watch, look at what I'm doing. And all you need to do is say, cool, I see you. And then they move on. Just give them attention. Emotions are just energy that passes, and the more we say, oh, you're annoying, stop trying to get my attention, the harder they try. So the paradox of emotion is by feeling it and accepting it, it'll pass. Energy in motion, that's what emotion is. And when we resist it, it persists. This is the best thing I got as a therapist, y'all. This is it. Accepting emotion, validating it is the key, okay? I'll go more in depth into that if you need me to during Q&A. Feel, deal, heal is another really good technique that builds off of validation. Feel, deal, heal is an approach to mental health that says you feel things, you deal with things, and then you heal. It's the opposite of avoid, ignore, and suppress. Most of us suck at this because we have not been taught to feel. And learning to feel is a skill, and it's a muscle that we have to build. So how do you feel? Ready to practice with me? This one can feel a little bit vulnerable. So if at any time you're kind of like, I'm uncomfortable to a point that you're not feeling cool, just stop, okay? I'm gonna ask you to close your eyes and to locate sensation in your body. I want you to pretend like we have a metal detector that's an emotion detector. And we're gonna go from the top of your head and try to scan and see if you got any emotion in your bod. And how do you know if there's emotion? Just sensation, that's all it is. So maybe you notice a little tingling or tightness in your chest. Maybe you notice a little pit in your stomach. Maybe there's some tension in your shoulders. I just want you to notice wherever it is and just give it attention, and we're just going to say, interesting. And stay with it. And I want this metal detector to give us all kinds of information. Just notice, how big is this emotion in your body? Would you say it's big or small? Now, would you say it's heavy or light? Would you say it's stuck or moving around? What substance is it? Does it look like a mist or a goo or like a rock or something? Like, kind of notice the substance. Light and airy or heavy. Notice what color it is. Don't push it away. Don't judge it. It's not right, wrong, good, bad, should, shouldn't. It just is. Notice the shape. Does it take a shape? You guys are doing so good. Take a big old deep breath. We just felt, and I want you to deal with it. And how we're going to deal with it is just look at it and say, it's okay for you to be here. You matter. I won't push you away. All my feelings are valid. I'm going to give you the time and space and attention that you need. It's safe to feel you. Thanks for the information you're giving me. And take a big old deep breath. Notice, you can open your eyes now if it's cool to do so. Did that shift? Did the sensation shift for anyone? Did it move around? Feel, deal, heal means you stop, you feel, and you deal with it instead of saying, I don't want to feel this, I push it away, I have to avoid this. Imagine making that a practice with any emotion that you face where you feel it and you deal with it. It's pretty revolutionary in emotional health. There's a couple other ways to do that. What I just taught you is a form of mindfulness. So mindfulness means you're just paying attention without judgment. Sensation, interesting. You're getting present. So instead of getting in the story of whatever your story is, just getting present and feeling. It's being right here and right now. That's where the magic is. It's using your 5 senses. Like, what's the temperature? Right now, you can be mindful and notice how it feels to sit on your chair. Just notice your posture. Don't change it. Just notice it. It's so hard not to, shift, right? Notice how your bum feels on the chair. Kind of, is there more weight on one side than the other? Notice how your legs are. Just notice. Just right here, right now. You can shift. You're not allowed to move. But using your senses to tune in. What's your temperature? Here's another good therapy skill. Ready for interaction? I wrote feel your pants. It's actually called rub it out. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Ready? Do this with me, please. Okay. Keep rubbing your pants. And notice, what's the texture of your pants feel like? Soft. Ridges, a little bumpy, a little soft, a little prickly. Notice, just keep rubbing, y'all. Notice sensations on your palms as you're doing that. What's the sensation on your palms? Little friction, anyone feeling heat? Mm-hmm. Notice the difference on your, keep going. Keep it going. Notice the difference on your thighs versus your palms. Is it a different sensation? It is, isn't it? A little like less there. Keep going. Trust me. How's the sensation changing on your palms? Anyone getting numb yet? Yeah. Does it feel a little bit different on your fingertips versus the palm? Just notice that. Stop. What are you thinking about? Your hands. Maybe how weird I am, but you're thinking about your hands mostly. This is magic. This is a grounding technique that forces your prefrontal cortex, the mature, evolutionized part of your brain, to say, I'm going to think about right here, right now. Temperature, texture, sensation. You weren't thinking about whatever you were thinking about before. That's like a grand of therapy. You're welcome. Just kidding. So feel your pants. You could do this if you're panicking or stressed or having a lot of anxiety or depression. You can snap your brain out of emotional snowball and get present. There's nothing magical about this other than it's very easy to focus. You can do that idea with anything. Grab a pen and use it to prompt your attention into the present moment. That's the whole point. The pants are just always with you, so it's easy. Mostly always with you. Journaling is another great tool to feel, deal, heal. Whether that's free association, meaning you just write whatever, or you do deep digging, like deep prompts into specific questions. I really recommend journaling. Something that's really cool is using your non-dominant hand to journal. This is like the weird psychology stuff. So what you can do is write a question with your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, hey, what do we need to focus on today? Then you bust out your non-dominant hand and let it answer. Now, if you want to get even more deep into your brain and your subconscious and like work, you can visualize your inner child. I think I have a slide on inner child work, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. But visualize little you and be like, what's up, little you? What should we talk about today? And your non-dominant hand is going to be your inner child's voice. It's accessing the other hemisphere of your brain into a part of you that's not typically conscious. Love the faces. The reactions are very cool. Moving on. That's me, inner child work. So the whole idea with inner child work is be a loving parent to yourself, reparent yourself. We all have different experiences with our folks, and they did the job that they did. I just want to give you permission to say it's your job now and your responsibility to meet your needs as an adult. This isn't about hating or rejecting or blaming anyone. This is about you accepting responsibility for meeting your needs. Inner child work is personally a really powerful pillar of my own recovery and my own mental health, and I encourage it for most of my clients. This can be very emotional and triggering, particularly if you have childhood trauma. So if you're having weird feelings about this, don't worry about it. You'll be called to it when it's your time. But if this is really calling you now, your brain might be ready. The idea is you start meeting your needs as a loving, responsible parent, healing the wounds of like your little kid you. And so it's very much a symbolic relationship of like, come on, little me, let's go to the pet store and have a good time. Hey, I'm going to wear pink today because that feels like that would nurture my inner child. Or, hey, I'm not going to say mean words to myself because I'm not going to talk to this little kid this way. It's connecting to yourself like a loving parent would. It's validating your feelings. So when you were a little kid and you got the message that you're dumb or something's wrong with you or you're not good enough, you're the adult now who says, no, that's BS. You are enough. I say so. Because I know you and I know how to meet your needs. This is really empowering work. You're going to teach yourself emotional regulation tools. So do any of you throw temper tantrums still? I do. I always throw temper tantrums when businesses don't do their job right. I don't know what, I'm trying to figure this issue out. Like, how come I throw a fit when things don't go my way? Like, Comcast, you're so slow, I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. You get to say, hey, little you, it's okay if things don't go your way. Let's talk about patience and breathing skills and getting through this. Like you become a responsible parent and start to teach yourself how to act right. You start to manage these childhood emotions that run your life. If you're loving what I'm talking about, this is all John Bradshaw stuff. He's old school, like late 70s, early 80s. He talked a lot about addiction, recovery, and shame way before Brene Brown did. He was talking about shame and overcoming dysfunctional families, so you could pick up some books by John Bradshaw. Another way to do inner child work is keep a promise to yourself every day. Any of you ever been like, I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water every day, and you don't drink water for like a week? All of my examples are very personal, by the way, so just throwing myself under the bus. You would keep a promise and say, it doesn't matter, I drink water no matter what. And you keep that promise to yourself. Or you journal for 3 minutes every day no matter what. You start keeping promises because you deserve it, and you deserve to trust yourself, and you deserve to meet your needs. Setting boundaries is good inner child work. But then a couple other things you can do. Grab a picture of little you, put it on your screen, on your phone, put her on your car dashboard. Put her in your journal where you see her every day and connect and just kind of think about her. You could write her a letter, do the non-dominant hand stuff, and just tap into her joy. What does she want to do? Literally, when my clients are like, tell me what their inner child does, I tell them to literally do it. So they're like, yeah, my inner child wants to chase lizards. Yo, you have to go chase lizards. Like, do not let her down. You have to go climb a tree, sorry. You have to wear a princess dress. Like literally connecting to this piece of you. You guys down to try it? It's really powerful work. Okay, affirmations. You ready to practice with me? We're gonna do another real tool here, and I'm gonna have you practice live and direct with someone next to you. There's a high percentage that you will cry, and I want you to just have permission to do that. Emotion, tears, that's energy that's literally leaving your body, stress release. So if this triggers that, don't trip. That's very normal. If not, it's fine. That's all.
Those were fantastic final words. Thank you so much. And you've already done it, but what a great hand for our amazing speaker tonight. I'm excited for all of us to go home and practice the things that we've learned to be working on. Thank you so much.